But let's talk about the upcoming school year, specifically planning for the new school year ahead, because it looks a little different for a lot of us than we're used to. Even those of us that homeschool, which I do, homeschool my 4 kids here, we still will be doing that in North Carolina given the situation. I kind of figured my kids, we're used to homeschooling, we've got a good group going. We don't really need to take up classroom space that maybe someone else needs for their child who isn't as, ready to jump in and have school at home or wants their child in the classroom. So we're sticking with it, and it's been a huge blessing to have been able to homeschool prior to this so that I wasn't thrown into it. I know that's not the case for everybody. But I wanted to share it first and foremost too. As we're talking about planning for the new school year in this video, I have a full blog post with all the links that I will refer to in this quick video. Anything I mentioned, it's in the blog post that just published last night, linked in the description above this video. So after you're done viewing, you can go back up there and click on the post and get access to any of the information that I'm referring to in a couple of these categories. So there's 5 main tips that have really helped me, no matter what the new school year situation is, to set myself up for starting off on a successful, positive foot. First and foremost is just to stay slower and soaking up the last days of summer vacation. We really go pretty slow during the summer, especially given that we moved. If we hadn't moved, we probably would be doing a little bit of schoolwork a couple days a week, just to keep the kids in a little bit more structured, balanced environment now and then. They've kind of had a lot of free time because we've visited family, we've traveled across the country, now we're setting up the house. So we are now finally soaking up the remaining days of the summer just so that we're fully charged. I feel like it was a big recharge to just slow down during quarantine, not be as task focused, and it helped all of us just to balance out, stay focused on the important aspects every day that we need to focus on. And I think that's important in the last days of summer too. Don't getting caught up in planning and kind of like hyper planning rather than just thinking about the big picture can wear you down before you even start with your school year ahead. This year is going to be different. There's going to be challenges, but adversity builds character. So our kids get to build this deeper level of character going through the situations that they now have to live through. And we are doing it too, but of course they're, at such young ages, learning, new ways to be productive, new ways to learn, adapting, and those are all good things. I did link in the blog post that I mentioned to some free or cheap summer activities, really simple things that you can still incorporate to have fun, to make memories every day. That is linked in the blog post that's in the description of the video for you that you can go to after and read through. Second tip is during the school year, what helps me a lot is planning ahead month by month. Now, not planning out every single day, 7 days a week for an entire month at a time, but setting my priorities. For example, for August, I just did that this past weekend. That's how I'm able to sit down and do this video with you, because I made it a priority. I put it on my calendar, prepared my kids that this is part of what the day was going to have in it. And that helped me kind of map out each week so that I can do these every Monday, meet up with you. We can share virtually, since that's a lot of, interactions that a lot of us are getting is virtual interaction. But looking at the whole month and setting those priority days for, these are days where we're doing school in the morning, these are days where we have activities in the afternoon. You can kind of do that a month ahead. Maybe you could even have the ability to do that multiple months ahead. That's great. I'm not there yet because we haven't signed the kids up for activities here at our new location, but we plan to. We're hopefully not getting too crazy busy. What this does when you kind of take a big approach each month and just say, these are the specific days that I know I need to prioritize for certain events. These are the days then that I can prioritize for a slower schedule. where we don't have to be running around. We don't have to be, busy every single day. We can just focus on school time and then rest time, or, this is our big shopping day, running errands, whatever, to get some balance. This allows you to honor yourself and your family with off days. Because if you don't plan ahead, then things pop up, and then suddenly your wide open day has tons of things, going on, and you don't get any rest time, and by the end of the day, you're exhausted. So it gives you a little bit of ability to plan ahead for those days where you're not going to do anything other than the typical, kid-related activities and home-related activities. Maybe you're working at home as well, or trying to do that virtually, so you can make your priorities. It also allows for emergency things that pop up to be more accommodated. Sometimes if we just kind of go day by day by day, not really looking ahead to the whole month or the whole week, we don't really have the ability to flex as easily when things pop up and we need to move what's going on today to tomorrow because some new fire popped up that we have to deal with today. I did link to some tips for being more productive, specifically as a mom at home, in the blog post again that I referenced. Third tip is meal plan, meal plan, meal plan. I was so burned out the first year that I was full-time homeschooling my kids. I could not keep up with the cleaning. I could not keep up with the laundry to my liking. Dishes were piled up in the kitchen constantly because the kids just eat all day long when they're home and doing school at home. So meal planning was a way that I could at least have a loose idea for an entire week of what ingredients I had in the house, what meals I could make, and then if Monday I felt like chicken, I could make the recipe for chicken or whatever. If Tuesday I felt like the salad was what we're going to have for dinner, I could make that. I don't do strict Monday, we are going to have this, set in stone. I do like it to be a little flexible. I just write the meals that I have shopped for, the ingredients that I bought to make specific meals, and then I kind of pick and choose each day what, everybody feels like, what I feel like making. There's lots of simple, easy recipes, crock pot recipes that so easily can be instant pot recipes. Linked in that blog post again, so definitely check that out after quick dinner recipes, and the crock pot recipes are really good. Really great, just because you can set it and forget it until dinner time, which we all know. How could we do motherhood without a crock pot or an instant pot, right? Fourth tip is use organizational tools to help you. One of the things that I hadn't set up completely on that first year of homeschooling full-time was what our organization system was going to look like. You see some of it behind me. So I know when we're done with a specific subject, I put the stuff back in that divider for that subject, and it's not sitting out, it's not piling up all day, creating more mess. Similar ideas with the kids' toys, right? If the kids know that their dolls go in this, drawer or this bin, then it's easier for them to clean up. They might be a little resistant. My kids will still kind of go, oh man, and whine a little bit, not always willing participants. But it makes it easier to manage for me to be able to say, please clean the dolls up, and they know where they go, and then I can attend to dishes or something else, so I'm not having to micromanage that. So setting those things up, for example, like I said, kids' toys, games, any curriculum materials that they might need at home, give them a little cubby or a space to put their stuff back in, so your dining room table is not, completely cluttered with school and kids stuff all day long, all the time, if that's at all possible. The fifth tip, and this is going to lead us into next week's meetup too. I am so sorry if anybody's commenting. I do not see comments at all. Such a bummer. But yep, I don't see them at all. So hopefully when I go back and, oh hey Sybil, it did just tell me that you were watching. So that's the only name that I see. But anyway, like I said, if you're here, likes, hearts, comments, let me know so we know that the whole video thing is working. Hopefully you can hear me. Now that we're almost near the end of the video, right? All right, giving kids chores. The topic for next week is everybody in the family can contribute. And that's very, very true, and I'm going to talk more in depth about that next week. But for right now, kids, even as young as 6 months old, can help do things around the house. I would put a bin in front of my oldest son when he could sit up on his own. That was around 6 months. And he was playing with the blocks, and I could say, hey, let's clean up the blocks. And he would put the blocks in the box, which is a, developmental skill anyway for that age group. And so it became fun, and it's still one-on-one, it's not stressful. So he was learning at an early age that he could do it. This is where the blocks went. And that's continued for all of our kids. Even when they were little, we could give them a basket and say, okay, let's put them back in here, or you take care of the shoes, put everybody's shoes away, whatever the example is. There's lots of ideas linked in that blog post for different chore systems, whether you want a really, micromanaged system, or you want something that's a little more simple, which is kind of what I use. I use these free printable chore charts. My kids know what their chores are. It's kind of just a visual reminder for them. We don't do a lot of make sure you check every time you do your job. It's just an after lunch thing where I mention, okay, chore time, what you still need to do. So those options are in there too, so that you can see what really is available. Because there are options depending on how old your kids are, what your comfort level is. We also do money for chores in our house, not for all contribution to the family or the household, but the specific chores that they do, they get to earn money each month for completing them successfully, and then that in turn teaches them saving and spending, and a huge life skill that is really our job as parents to teach in the home, teach our kids how to use money responsibly. So that's a little tag on to the chore system idea. All right, I have no idea if comments are working. I apologize if anybody has commented. I cannot see it. I don't know why that is. I'll have to do some research since this has been my first Facebook Live in quite a few months, just with the move and everything. Next week, like I said, Monday, 3 p.m. right here, Eastern Time, we're going to be talking about how everyone in the family can contribute, and I'll share more information about that next week. I will also cross-post this video onto Instagram TV and YouTube, so it will be available there. It's a little bit more searchable on YouTube than here, but you can see it here too. Check out the blog post for full details of all the links that I talked about, with more tips, a little bit more in-depth information for you, linked up above in the description. So this is going to be a weekly series, and I just want to let you know that there's a couple other weekly series as well that I'm running for those that are interested. So the Stay-at-Home Mom Survival Guide is here. That's where we are right now. And I also have a page called Natural Living Easy Route. That page will be having Wednesday mini classes and Thursday more in-depth webinars once a week, every week. So if you have any desire to learn more, click over there. Wednesdays will be 3 p.m. Eastern Time as well for the wellness mini classes. Thursdays are evening time frame so that we can have kids a little bit more content, maybe dad's home, or a little bit more flexibility and freedom to listen in a little longer. And that'll be on Zoom. So those links will be shared here and on the Natural Living Easy Route if you haven't followed that page yet. Otherwise, I'll look forward to popping back to this video after I finish and post it, so I can see if there's any comments. I was really hoping for it to be more interactive, but Facebook isn't showing anything, so oh well. It just is what it is. All right, guys, I hope that you have a great rest of your week. I love being able to kick off my Mondays with you. It's a bright spot in my day to look forward to every Monday afternoon, and I'll see you back here next Monday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Talk to you then.